Coming up, there have been huge changes to the plans for WrestleMania, Dead Man's Chest. We have an update on those leaked Elimination Chamber plans from earlier this week in relation to the WrestleMania plans that have just leaked. And AEW confirmed they are very much open to working with NJPW.
Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk Trustworthy News. I am El Fakador Laurie Blake. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already for wrestling news and the chance that Adam Blompier may actually be on this video. He's not, before you get your hopes up. But we do got news! And we personally have some big news to announce later in the episode, but more on that towards the end of the video. Now, if you thought the stretch from mid-February all the way through to WrestleMania 36 in Tampa would be plain sailing, you have severely misjudged the captain of this particular ship. Because the Dread Pirate Vinnie Mac is more than happy to turn the wheel and swerve the ship if he thinks there's more treasure to be found in different waters. Which could be the case after Goldberg's appearance on SmackDown last Friday boosted the ratings dramatically. Because WrestleVotes on Twitter are reporting that this may have forced through a wholesale change in the plans for Mania, tweeting some smoke around these four superstars and their Mania placements. Nothing definitive, but they could be tied together. How would you like to see it play out? Wyatt versus Reigns for the title and Cena versus Goldberg, or Wyatt versus Cena for the title, record number 17, and Reigns versus Goldberg. So our options are Goldberg and Cena in a 10 moves of doom match, a Wyatt versus Reigns in a foregone conclusion, or Wyatt versus Cena in a I hope they let Bray retain, and Reigns versus Goldberg in a spearfishing contest. Of the lot, I think I definitely prefer option 2, as it means that The Fiend could be in for a longer run with the belt and sort of comes full circle on his big Mania loss to Cena, which really was the death knell for his push. And then I'd just love to see what they do with Goldberg and Reigns and be like, who gets to win here? I just don't know. But why the sudden change? Because it's fairly easy to just sort of shrug your shoulders and go, well, it's WWE, innit? But you have to take into account the ratings from SmackDown this week, because according to Dave Meltzer, the quarter hour of the show that featured Bill had roughly 3 million viewers. That is 400,000 more than SmackDown's usual peak number, and 400,000 more than Raw got after the Rumble, where they had Edge. Again, a spearfishing contest. These are just crazy numbers, and so if you have Goldberg in this big Mania program, you can have him on TV more often in build-up, which means more viewers, and hopefully you get more people buying in for the pay-per-view. It all makes sense. It all makes money. Vinnie Mac loves money. It might also be one of the reasons why the company has let something like this next bit of news slip too, because WrestleZone are reporting that former WWE champion AJ Styles has a huge opponent penciled in for the show of shows. Now, their source within the company was stating that AJ is currently down to tango with The Undertaker on the grandest stage of them all. Well, me, that is phenomenal. And I don't know, I often say that I don't want to see The Undertaker wrestle anymore, but this is an exception that I'm just willing to make. AJ is exactly the sort of worker you should pair Taker up with. He's smaller, he's easier to pick up, he's an ace seller, and he's a brilliant in-ring storyteller. Big fan. He can drag a match out of Limpy McLimperson. And this is interesting because Taker's WrestleMania status has been a bit unknown for a while, with reports saying he was in negotiations with the company over an appearance, but not firmly penned in for a slot. Styles is also taking time off with a shoulder injury he sustained in the Royal Rumble, but he is being advertised for the weird, outlandish trophy of the season gauntlet match at Super Showdown for the World Cup World's Best Tag Team later this month, so he should probably be fine by Mania. Before we crack on, we need to just thank the Rocket Dan Van Sky for their support on Patreon. Thank you so much. But if all the matches for Mania in the bag, that just begs the question, how do we get to Mania then? Because there's no fast lane this year to really drive the road to WrestleMania metaphor home. I did a metaphor about a metaphor. So that also means that all the build for Mania hangs on weekly television and, of course, the only pay-per-view, Elimination Chamber. And if you cast your mind back to Tuesday, there was news coming out of Raw that the men's Elimination Chamber match was already set in stone and had been spoiled by local advertising in Philadelphia, where the pay-per-view is set to take place. Because the Wells Fargo Center tweeted a pretty big spoiler for the next few weeks of SmackDown, if it turns out to be true, as it said March 8th would see Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, King Corbin, and Robert Roode go toe-to-toe to toe-to-toe to knee-to-face-to-toe in inside the bondage bouncy castle known as the Elimination Chamber, meaning that the next few weeks of SmackDown storyline have potentially just been spoiled for everyone, though some may argue it was already sort of spoiled when they booked Corbin versus Reigns for the umpteenth time. Ayo! That also suggests that we're likely on course for the rumoured showdown between Reigns and The Fiend at Mania, Plan A of WrestleVote's 2 options. But I hate to break it to you big dog fans, because that might not be what actually happens. Because on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said the lineup was sent to the arena by WWE officials in order to sell tickets. They said Reigns and Corbin were going to be in a match together again to sell tickets. We've gone through the looking glass here, people. But then obviously the lineup may change because WWE apparently just chucked a bunch of names together to give to the venue to help them promote the show. So hate to shoot your puppy there, big dog fans. I didn't shoot your puppy. It was Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer shot your puppy. But then this means that WWE could easily throw the likes of John Cena or Goldberg into the Elimination Chamber match to set up some options for WrestleMania and which of those rumoured proposed matches they want to actually go with. However, hope may still be alive for poor old Roman Reigns because he's Roman Reigns. Dave Meltzer said that Reigns is likely to become Remain Reigns and stay in the match for that Mania spot, but guys like Rude or Nakamura, the randos, could just be chucked out and replaced quite easily. So there you are, big dog fans. One dead puppy brought back to life. And I did that. Credit to me, not credit to Dave Meltzer. I know he said the thing, but I made up the imaginary puppy, so my credit. Because Imaginary Puppy God also has more info about things that could potentially feature at the show, because the Wells Fargo Center is also advertising a SmackDown Tag Team title match between The New Day and The Miz and John Morrison, which if that happens would be a rematch from Super Showdown in Saudi where the two teams are already set to clash. Classic SmackDown booking there. A rematch for a rematch for a rematch. Rematch. Speaking of SmackDown, maybe it's the lack of authority figures that's bringing the entire thing down because there is nobody with overarching control. Well, someone might be up for the job and her resume is pretty good. Paige here. Because tired of being just an analyst for WWE Backstage and on a new contract with the company, the British star is looking to expand her role in WWE once more. She tweeted, but I need to be GM again. I was very good. Just saying. I don't know what a fro is, but in retrospect, she was pretty good. Because all I can now remember is Reigns versus Corbin, forever and always, in a sort of Agent Smith-style takeover of my consciousness. We're hopping over the fence now to talk about AEW because we are contractually obliged to. Bias for the win, love you, Tony. Now, there have been plenty of grumblings and rumblings about AEW working with New Japan, as that seems like an awesome opportunity for both companies and a bit of a no-brainer because, to be honest, who was really big in Japan? The Elite. Who is really big in Japan currently? Ooh, Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley. Now previously, Cody has said the door to working with New Japan is opening and closing, while the Bucks have said that it's just not opened up at all. Others would argue that there is no door, it's just a metaphor, say what you mean. Rhodes was recently interviewed by the Wrestling Observer and asked Dave Meltzer about the potential working relationship between the two companies. He said, people are talking a lot about a working relationship between the two, and then there was a show with Mox and Jericho on it. So here's one of the largest stars on the brand, and here's our world champion. Clearly, there is a relationship of some sort. If the best wrestlers are out there, we want to make sure the best wrestlers are part of what we're doing. If you're truly going to live the spirit of All Elite Wrestling, you've got to keep your mind and your eyes and your ears open to all that's out there. Nothing is forbidden, everyone's still got each other's phone numbers, and everyone's still in contact. I don't think the bad blood is as bad as reported. So not to really split hairs about the door metaphor, but that does sound like the door is probably wedged open. Right, it is time for a very special announcement, the first of many that you're going to get here on WrestleTalk in the coming month. Because just like WWE has the road to WrestleMania, we've got a run of big announcements to make before the show of shows too. First, there was Adam Blompier joining the channel with weekly lists. Oh my God, I can't believe they've never been done before. That is insane. And now, WrestleTalk is going live. Like in person live, not like live streaming live. We already do that. We're putting on a live wrestling show! In association with Fight Network and sponsored by Wrestling Travel, WrestleTalk presents the Battle of Brit Rest on Monday 16th of March in Great Portland Street, London, which is going to host special matches from the UK's very best talent like Paige Brown, Robbie X, All Japan's Lucas Steele, Adam Maxted, the OJMO, and even John Moxley's New Japan tag partner, Shota Umino. And they are all representing a multitude of promotions, including WrestleGate, NJPW, Frontline, Pro Wrestling Soul, Wrestleverse, and more. The important note is that we are not starting our own wrestling promotion. Instead, we are aiming to showcase the best of indie wrestling here in the UK. Other people do it better than we do. And before the show starts, me, Ollie, Luke, Chopper, and oh yes, Adam Blompier will be hosting a special live WrestleTalk podcast with a meet and greet too. So get your tickets by clicking the link below or go to WrestleTalkLive.com now. This is our first ever proper live show like this, so please come and support us at the event. Because if this goes well, we can make this a monthly wrestling night for everyone to come to. It is the dream. Help us all live it. Thank you for watching, folks. Do me a favor and do all of the liking, subscribing, and commenting business, as it really helps us out and it tricks YouTube into showing the video to more people. Please help us trick YouTube. Take back the control from huge multinationals. And also, come see us live too. I've been El Fakador, and that was Lucha.